Guys, I missed a major deadline in my France application process. And honestly, I panicked. I panicked. Because when you're trying to change your life, one mistake can suddenly make you feel like everything is falling apart. But strangely enough, this whole situation also made me reflect on something much deeper. Why am I even trying to move back to France in the first place? Because years ago, France was the place I left behind for what I believed was a better life here in Canada. And now, after all these years, I'm preparing to go back. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Christina Odiyo, and this is where I document the real and honest journey of building a softer, free, more intentional life through travel, motherhood, and rebuilding. Today's video is going to be a little more personal. Yes, I'll tell you about the deadline I missed in my France process, but I also want to talk about something deeper. Why I'm choosing France again after living in Canada for so many years. So recently, I realized I had missed an important deadline connected to my France visa application process. And the second I realized it, my heart literally dropped. I immediately started spiraling. What if this delays everything? What if I ruined my chances? What if I messed up our timeline completely? And if you're going through any kind of major life transition, you probably understand the feeling, because when your dream is big, every mistake feels even bigger, especially when children are involved, especially when finances are involved and your future feels tied to paperwork, emails, approvals, and timelines. For a few hours, honestly, I felt defeated. I really felt defeated. But after the panic settled, I started reflecting on this entire journey and I realized something. This move is not just random for me. France is actually a place connected deeply to my life story. A lot of people watching may not know this, but I actually lived in France years ago. About 17 years ago, I lived in a place called Vitre, and I lived in Pau. I also lived in Paris. Altogether, I spent about 2.5 years, and at the time, Canada looked like a dream. Canada looked like opportunity, stability, a better future, a fresh start. And also, honestly, at that time in my life, the grass truly was greener in Canada for me. And I really want to say this carefully because I know conversations around immigration sometimes become negative online. Canada has been amazing to me, truly. Canada welcomed me. Canada gave me opportunities. Canada gave me stability. Canada became my home. This country has shaped a huge part of my adult life. My children are growing up here. I built my cleaning business here. I grew emotionally here. I learned resilience here. And honestly, I will forever be attached to this country. This is not, um, making Canada a bad story. No, not at all. Canada is wonderful. But what I am realizing now is this: immigration is deeply, otherwise, it means you failed. But I don't see life that way anymore. I think human beings should be free to move toward the life that fits them best in a particular situation or in a particular season. Sometimes the greener grass really is greener, and sometimes years later, another place becomes greener for your spirit, your lifestyle, your goals. your peace. And honestly, France feels right for me right now. Not because Canada failed me, but because I changed. I want a slower lifestyle. I want more balance. I want different experiences for the kids. I want to reconnect with parts of myself that I left behind years ago. And maybe because I've already lived there before, France doesn't feel like fantasy to me. It feels familiar. I remember walking through small French streets, bakery mornings. I remember train rides, learning how differently people approached life there. Even back then, there was something about France that stayed with me. And honestly, making this decision has been emotional because when people hear you're leaving Canada, sometimes they immediately assume something terrible must have happened. And sometimes people may even question your gratitude. But two things that exist at the same time are that you can deeply love a country and still feel called somewhere else. You can appreciate a chapter without needing to stay in it forever. And I think more people should allow themselves to admit that. The other thing I wanted to say that I'm very pro immigration. I genuinely believe immigration can completely transform lives. I think people should explore the world if they have the opportunity. I think people should experience different cultures, and if another place aligns better with the life that they want, because sometimes a move changes everything: your mindset, your opportunities, your confidence, your happiness, and even your children's future. And honestly, I don't think we should shame people for wanting better for themselves. No. Whether someone moves to Canada, France, the UK, Dubai, or anywhere else, if it improves their quality of life, their peace, their opportunities, or their family's future, so be it. That matters. I'm not, I want to tell you something. I'm not romanticizing it either. Starting over is scary. Even though I lived in France before, I still have fears because there's the French bureaucracy, the paperwork, uncertainty, there's finances, there's school, planning visas, the emotional pressure of moving children across countries. And now, on top of that, missing this deadline made me feel like maybe everything was slipping away for a second. But then I reminded myself, one setback does not erase the vision. And maybe someone watching this needed that reminder too. Maybe your timeline shifted. Maybe your plans delayed. Maybe life is not unfolding exactly how you imagined, but delays are not always distraction. Sometimes life is simply redirecting you, preparing you, stretching you, and honestly, I think rebuilding your life requires a lot of courage, more courage than people realize. So, yes, I missed a major France deadline. And yes, I panicked. I panicked. But maybe this moment was bigger than the deadline itself. Maybe it reminded me why I started this journey in the first place: to create a life that feels aligned, intentional, peaceful, free. And whether that journey leads you across the world or simply into a new version of yourself, I hope you give yourself permission to choose the life that truly fits you. Thank you so much for being here with me. And if you're also navigating change, immigration, rebuilding, or chasing a dream that feels overwhelming sometimes, you are not alone. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.